Two-a-day time again in Z Country. Big Z Sports is here at Sandy Valley High School as we continue our two-a-day series brought to you by Haas Body Shop, and we are so excited to be out here in Sandyville again. Shannon Thomas with me. Shannon, the sun is really bright and shining. We know it is definitely this time of year whenever it comes to these temperatures going like this on the turf.
Yeah, everybody loves the turf because when you get that really bad weather, the field kind of stays neutral. But, boy, when you got to get out there on that sun, I don't dread being those players today or those coaches. I mean, we got the sweat rolling off us, and we're just standing here doing nothing.
Well, you're saying really bad weather. What bad weather? It's been a drought for how long? So any grass fields, yeah, it could be real interesting. But anyway, we are here to talk the Sandy Valley Cardinals and some Cardinal football. Of course, last season, a 7-win season for them. Good year for Sandy Valley, but we know that they are striving for more.
Yeah, you're always looking to get better. You know, if you win yesterday, you got to win tomorrow. If you lose yesterday, you want to win. And they play a very tough conference in the IVC, and then their non-conference games are just as tough. So I know Coach Gamble and those guys got a lot to prepare for this season.
Well, speaking of the preparations, we're going to check in with Coach Gamble with the Sandy Valley Cardinals here on our two-a-day series. Welcome back into another two-a-day segment with Big Z Sports as we are going around area schools and talking about the off-season and the upcoming football season to come, all brought to you by Haas Body Shop. Joining us now is head coach Brian Gamble for the Sandy Valley Cardinals. Coach, great to have you back in.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys and all your coverage every year.
Well, you know, here's the funny thing. We're standing here, and we know that it's kind of the dog days of summer. We're standing on turf, and I think I'm cooking right now, so I can only imagine how it's been for you guys. How's camp been going so far?
I tell you what, for overall, I'm really pleased with where we're at, and we're gaining, experience, gaining how to practice the right way. Our guys, for the most part, we've practiced pretty well. I thought we've done a really good job of that. Our numbers are up. For our roster, we're getting a lot of guys reps, getting a lot of young guys reps, and just developing overall, not just our starters, but we're developing overall, and I think that's a big thing for our growth, for the years to come.
With those numbers coming in, I know it's great for growth, but on top of that, you guys are replacing quite a bit, big numbers and names from the offensive side of things in terms of Petro and Davis, and also Chapin Greer, our defensive player of the year last year. So just kind of run through how that is helping supplement those positions.
Replacing those guys, those are special guys. Those are all Ohio players, that you mentioned. And those guys are you can't really replace them, but you can be your own different version of it, and that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be a different version of that. We can't replace a Nick Petro or a Chapin Greer, those guys especially. But I tell you what, we can have that blueprint, and that we have guys that we can rotate in and guys that can piece all that together. And I think we're doing a really good job of that so far.
Well, for Sandy Valley football fans, they might have kind of got a little preview, so to speak, last year in terms of what the quarterback situation was going to be like. So tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Yeah, the development there has been very, very. These guys are pushing each other. With Drew Graybill and Caleb Dubner. We're real comfortable with either one of those guys right now. They're getting a real good grasp of the offense. Drew has that experience as a true freshman, getting a start in 3 games as a true freshman. Caleb is just he's got tools and he's got things that are God-gift abilities that are amazing. So again, it's a really good, fun, competitive thing, and they like each other a lot. They like so they're very comfortable in the quarterback room, just developing that. And I tell you what, both guys are progressing, and we really like what we see so far.
Now, something else that's going to help a little bit on offense, naturally that experience is just so huge whenever you talk about that position, but you guys have one of the most dynamic playmakers in the entire area as well, coming back in Lucas Gillen, too. That has to help.
Yes, it does help. He's accepted a full-ride scholarship to St. Francis in Pennsylvania, and yes, he's playing Division I football. But he's put the work in, man. He's started every game as a freshman all the way through. This is year 4 now for him, and he's put a lot of work in. It's all year round grind for him, and he's done a really good job this year with putting on even more weight and putting up weight. And he was our Ironman of the year for everything that we're doing, for our off-season stuff. And he's put the work in for it. I'm just happy for him and happy for his family.
That's always where it goes back to, right? You got to put that work in, and if you want those results. Speaking of the defensive side of things, you had a defense that really came up big in some key moments last year. I know you guys have always talked about there's always room for growth. How are you feeling on the defensive side of the ball?
I tell you what, I think, for the back back half, our communication has been pretty good. I'm happy with that. We still got to have growth in the back half always with that. I really like our veterans at linebacker. We would return a lot of those starters at linebacker, and that's a big thing for us because that's the communication of the quarterbacks of the defense for that. And then our guys up front, man, we got some guys to sub in and sub out. We got a little bit of depth up front, so that's gonna keep some fresh legs in there, different perspective in there, and again, they want to just get to the ball as fast as possible and create as many problems as they can. I think we're going to create some problems this year.
And I definitely don't have to tell you guys this. I know you're all very well aware, but whenever it comes to the IVC and how difficult it is to play against some of those teams, well, I should say almost all the teams, really. Whenever you guys talk going into a season, you'll have a couple out-of-conference games, and it's right into that whole conference slate. These are guys that they've played all throughout their entire lives so far to this point. So how do you give them that little extra motivation to get ready for those conference games? Or do you even have to do that, though, considering everybody knows how big the IVC is?
It's self-motivated. It's week to week. It really is that way. It's built that way. The IVC South is that way. We'll have at least one team to make it to the Final Four or whatever else, make a deep run. And it's going to be that way again this year. We're expecting a dogfight day in and day out each Friday night when that IVC style hits, and even our non-league games with our big one coming up here with Fairless. Again, it's going to be dog fights. We're going to embrace that, and then we're just going to take it day by day, baby.
And Coach, the last thing I like to ask every time I get to talk to one of you guys before the season, these are the long days of summer. It's hot out here. We know the kids, they're thinking about getting back into school, and they're thinking, oh man. But how much fun is it to get to come out here and do this once the pads start cracking and the helmets start going on and the whistles start blowing? How much fun are these kind of experiences?
You either love it or you don't, and these guys I know love it. I love it every day. These guys, our coaches love it. I have a really great coaching staff that does a very good job of educating and teaching, and it doesn't feel like work. And that's when it doesn't feel like work. You don't feel like you got to drag your, when the alarm hits and you got to get out here and all that stuff. No, it doesn't feel like work because they love working together and they enjoy that process. That makes it enjoyable every day to come to work.
Well, thank you so much for your time as always, and we're happy to see Sandy Valley again this year. We'll have them. We'll be out there all the different times we've got them on the schedule.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you again for your coverage, and go Cards.
Knew it was coming. Head coach Brian Campbell for the Sandy Valley Cardinals. Another two-a-day segment brought to you by Haas Body Shop. That was head coach Brian Campbell of the Sandy Valley Cardinals. Lots to look forward to with Cardinal football this year. Some unknowns, but that's sometimes the thing that can really almost help you out down the road. You're talking about players who maybe didn't have a ton of varsity time last year. They could be secret weapons moving forward, especially when you're playing in a tough conference like the IVC.
Yeah, those young kids, sometimes you get thrown to the wolves, and that helps you as you go on. And like you said, they lost some key players, and the two big names right off the get-go is Nicky Petro and the Big Z Sports Player of the Year on defense, and Chapin Greer. And it's going to be those type of players, like Coach said, you can't replace them. You can only hope to get somebody to step up, and it'll be interesting to see how everybody on the team, grows and fills those spots.
Well, it's going to be an exciting year without a doubt here in Z Country. We are going to be out here a couple different times. We'll just let you know that, but we'll have coverage all year long on our social media platforms. For Shannon Thomas, I'm Nick McWilliams. This two-a-day segment brought to you by Haas Body Shop. We'll be at a high school again near you soon.